welcome back to all the crackers in the box. Hello, how's everybody doing? Not feeling much less down on myself today, which is great. Children aren't mad at me for not finishing the bags. They're fine with it. They love what they see already, so as far as they're concerned, when it's done, and it's worth it that way. So that was nice. Anyways, thanks for joining me here. Let's chat. Okay, so today was a day of rest, relaxation, and recharging. Basically, I laid around with my two daughters all day. We had snacks, we had chats, and we just had a mental health day. Everything's been overwhelming for the last few days. Everybody's been on edge, fighting, blah, blah, blah. It's just time to decompress. My middle daughter did not sleep the night before, so I figured it was probably not best to send her to school, so she stayed home, which I'm okay with occasionally, especially if they're not sleeping. Anyway, let's talk crochet now. So, I have 2 straps done. 2 of them. I don't know what I was thinking, but at one point here, the one I was just finished working on, I thought it was the one that was already finished, and I just kept going. I had that much more on that, and I was like, oh, I wanted them to be about the same size. Okay, that was a little intense. So, I can add them, one to this one, but I'm not so sure I'm going to do that tonight. I'll probably do that tomorrow for a fun project. I would like to work on the embroidery of the other one. However, I picked up my Hexie cardigan for while I was watching TV. And we're just going to adjust. There we go. That's a better angle. You can kind of see my project there. Anyway, I'm just going to work on this nice and relaxing project. I just needed something a little more straightforward, and that's okay. I've got an amigurumi cat here that I need to work on. I think 2 hats to start, but I needed at least a day of resting. My hands are a little bit tired and just feeling like, dragging themselves down the road. So, let's talk Christmas. How's everybody doing for their Christmas projects? Has everybody got plans? Christmas yarns? I'm not a huge fan. Thanks. I'll move you over from arm. Thanks. I'm not a huge fan of red and green. I understand that they're Christmas joyful colors, but they just don't really strike a chord with me. My Christmas colors that I really like are like blues and white. My table runner, which I never take out because I have kids, eventually will come out, but it's just so beautiful. It's made with satin and it's handcrafted with hand embroidery. It's a special gift. It was very beautiful, and I have nowhere I want to put it where I'm not afraid that it's going to get stained, because it's white, navy blue, and it is so pretty. Anyway, so that one's tucked away for now until I don't have toddlers around the house, wreaking havoc at the table. I have to vacuum under my table every day for the amount of food that is on the floor after eating all day. So, got a nice throw rug underneath there just so I don't get stains on the actual carpet of the building, which probably wouldn't even matter at this point, but just because the carpets in here are quite old, it's not the end of the world. But I still would like not to do that because I have to look at it every day. Not a big fan of that. Finished watching the Amazon series Shelter, and I have downloaded the audiobook of an adjoining book series. So it's based on a book series, and the book series that they chose is actually the nephew of the original character. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I really am enjoying this Prime series. I hope they do make a second season. They left it on an awesome cliffhanger. I'm not going to say anything if you haven't seen it, but let's just say, oh my, I actually had to put my crochet down for that one. My mouth hanging open. It was that good. I kind of was just, I saw some hints at it. I'm usually pretty good at reading foreshadowing. It is a lot about, there's Holocaust. Touches on Holocaust. It touches on children. It touches on trafficking. That's a lot to, like, it's not too much, but I am intrigued about where the characters that is keeping it something secret, and it's kind of odd. Maybe they don't know. Hard to say, but they definitely pointed out that this person has a secret that the main character isn't aware of, and that person is super close to them. So I want to see how that plays out. If not, I guess I'm just going to have to read the books. But I'm going to start with the uncle, because of course the uncle's older, so we'll start with him. In the series on Prime, there was an aunt that he's staying with. So I don't know if they just changed it up for that, or if that is how the books go. There's a long waiting list for the book, for the series on Prime, which I'm fine with. I'm not worried about it. I'll get it when I get it. I did grab an audio book by Ellery Adams for a series I've been reading for the last couple of years. I get a book every year or so and just listen to it. It's a cozy mystery, and it's about a group of people that have come together to help each other lose weight and get fit and solve murders at the same time. So it's different. I really enjoy the characters. It's written by Ellery Adams. I really enjoy her cozy mysteries. They're very nice, very enjoyable, good, easy read, and they leave you feeling very satisfied at the end. I just have been trying not to fly through too many series, because I find you can really get burnt out because they have to repeat a lot of the details, and then you're skipping over that part, and it just kind of, you start to feel like it's filler, and you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, wait a minute, if I've never read anything in this series and I just pick this book up, they don't know what's going on, or backstories and all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying my best to just, jump around with my different series that I enjoy, which is fine. And one, chain one. So yeah, I'm looking at what I'm going to do for Christmas gifts. I have a couple ideas. I was on YouTube today looking at some videos. Congratulations to Cinnamon Stitches on achieving her goal of getting a new couch. She seems very happy with that, and that's awesome. I love seeing people happy. That's great. So much better than seeing someone crying or talking about something dark, because I find myself always looking at things that are dark. Can't help it. I've always been that person. So once in a while, it is really good for my mental health to see somebody else achieve something that they wanted and are happy. So it's kind of a funny way to be. No one not looking at me can really tell how much I enjoy like film noir, mysteries, horror. There's a lot of horror that I like, but I'm pretty picky. Like a slasher is good, but I like something that really, I like haunting. Things that haunt you. And sometimes watching things that are haunting is not the best thing. Or reading things that are haunting. There are some things that have just wormed their way into my brain in a bad way, and I think about them way too much. So that's not, it can be a double-edged sword. It's great at the time, and then later on you're like, oh gosh, what did I just put in there? Anyway, so I was watching YouTube, and I watched Cinnamon and Stitches, and I watched all the other ones that I watch, most of them. There's a couple I'm saving up. And a little video came across my screen for cabbages. So I'm making cabbages. I have the perfect green. I'm gonna have to make that one. Start doing up all the little things I want to do. If I do a couple projects a week, I should be able to come up with some good items for Christmas. One that my son wants. It's going to be tricky. I'm probably going to have to buy another pattern. And last time I looked at that pattern, it was a little more than I'd like to pay. But, oh, it's such a cool one. He wants a Kurt Cobain. And we found one, Crochet Kurt Cobain, and he's got the round glasses and his iconic sweater, and I'm probably making Kurt Cobain this year. So there's that. I think I might have found a pattern for Mrs. Chucky. What's her name? I was thinking about it earlier. She's so cute. Played by Jennifer Tilly. Love her and her little tiny voice. Such a gorgeous woman. Tiffany. I knew I'd think of it. Tiffany. So I think I might have found a Tiffany. So I might have to do that for my husband. But I am making him a blanket. But I'm not so sure I'll be able to find a backing for the blanket. So it might be just yet something I still have to keep pushing further away. But we will see what I can do. Oh, there we go. I was feeling like my hands just were not working. And now I've increased speed, which has gotten me into a better comfort zone. Fantastico. Yeah, I'm getting ready for the weekend. Probably going to hit up the library. See what's up there. Get some new books. Pretty sure the girls need new books. It is such a relief that my library has dropped late fees. I mean, almost every time we're there, we buy a couple books. They're not very expensive, like $1 each. They're used books. They have a little section of books that they're just trying to sell. And I collect Dean Koontz books. I have since I was a teenager. He is he's a phenomenal writer. I have wow. His writing just absolutely, I adore it. I absolutely adore his writing. He has such a way of being so descriptive, and he has a whole whack of books, like well over 50 now at this point. Every single one of them is an absolutely amazing ride. The book Intensity, if you've never read that one, please read it. That one it's in my brain. this girl goes on a trip with her friend to her friend's parents' house in Napa Valley, and overnight someone breaks in, kills the parents, and kidnaps the daughter, but doesn't know the other girl's there, and the other girl ends up stuck on his RV with him and her dying friend, and it just never stops. The action, the adrenaline, the fear. Oh, I was on edge reading that one. Everyone I've ever lent that book to has said the same thing. Like, that was one of the most insane things I've ever read. So good. If you've never read it before, it's Dean Koontz, or Dean R. Koontz, as sometimes he goes through. Last name is Kootnz, and it's Intensity. Wow. And that's one of the most craziest books I've ever read. And the best ways, of course. I'm not going to recommend a book that was just disgustingly gross, because I have read some that made me feel like I needed to throw a book, and I'm not a book thrower. I do not abuse books. I love books. Anyway, so we go to the library. I try to grab Dean Koontz books when I can. I have a few of Charlene Harris's True Blood. And there's a couple other series that I've got bits and pieces for. And I do have a big collection of Stephen King books, but I'm pretty picky about them. There's a couple that I'm just not a big fan of. I found Cujo was not a book I enjoyed. I did not like reading that one. I loved reading it, except for the one scene that probably could have been fine without. Yeah, that was just a little bit, yeah. Anyway, that one scene just really didn't sit well with me, but the rest of the book was awesome. The Shining, really enjoyed The Shining. The Stand was amazing, really enjoyed that one. I read The Gunslingers. Those were pretty alright. The Dragon one. But it always makes me laugh because Dean Koontz and Stephen King are constantly complimenting each other at the beginning of their books, and they just go back and forth. And I just find it really cute. Their little messages are really funny. Oh, he's the god. He's so great. No, he's the one who's so great. And they're just always super complimenting each other, and I just love that. Makes me smile. I've got a few cozy mysteries. I think I still have a copy of Mommy Dearest, which is just disturbing. Oh, one of the worst books I've read that, like, it was a good book, but at the same time, it was just so hard to read, and so hard for me to internalize. I was Finding Mr. Goodbar. I tell you, I found that book for like 10 cents, and I've read it about 3 times because I just really, there was a lot to that book that I just could not, I just can't. And I can't even put into words why I would need to read it that much, but it was more trying to understand her motivations throughout the book. I could not put myself in her positioning and how she really hated herself so much. And I can't imagine that kind of self-loathing, and that's why it sticks with me. Like, I get, occasionally I don't like myself, and occasionally I loathe myself, but not like her. Hers was just so deep. And it was deep enough that I still think about it a lot. And yeah, so a lot of younger people don't know what Finding Mr. Goodbar is. If you can find it, and you want to read something that just will warp your little mind, that is definitely one of them. I do have a copy of Mice and Men because I really read it 3 times in school and I actually really enjoyed it. I think I have Lord of the Flies even somewhere on one of my shelves. I don't know. It sounds like something I would definitely have. Pretty sure I do. But yes, I have pretty good collection of books that I just love to read again. So Dean Koontz books definitely are there because I will reread them. I've read the True Blood ones about 3 or 4 times now. I really enjoyed the characters and her writing style was great. The show was okay, but her books were phenomenal, and that's usually how it goes, right? It's like you read a book and it's just absolutely stunning and amazing, and then you watch the movie or the TV show and you're like, thank you for totally disregarding it. Dean Koontz did a series of Frankenstein books, and they are very gritty. They are very much an open wound, like the whole story. Basically, it's Dr. Frankenstein's actually evil, and his monster has not died. His monster's hiding out. And this is taking place in our time, so the two of them are still like hiding from each other this whole time, sort of. I think if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that the doctor was under the impression that the monster had been unalived. So he was trying to recreate it all this time, the same experiment, same result, and was not getting anywhere. And yeah, it just turns into this whole thing, a trilogy. It was a really good trilogy. I really enjoyed it. I'm thinking of it because I just grabbed a book last time we were at the library. I think it was the second one. And I think I had the first and third, so I think the second one was the last one I needed, so I'm going to give them a reread fairly soon. Anyway, so there's a lot to unpack with their whole relationship, their dynamic, and it's sort of like, it kind of feels like a commentary on, father-son, estranged relationship, so there's that aspect of it because, my creator, and I guess they were going to turn that into a movie. And it got to the point that they kept changing it and changing it and changing it to the point where Mr. Koontz was like, you know what, this is not my book. This is not my story. This is not my vision. And I'm going to have to wipe my hands of it. Please, I'm not doing this. You can continue on with your movie. Make what you're going to make. Do what you're going to do. And just wipe my name off of it because this has nothing to do with me. Let's get the papers drawn up. I want to be not associated with it. So he publicly put it out there. That's why he dropped off that movie. Because I was one of the people that was waiting anxiously for it, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing that he's just walked away, and so he explained that, and it really makes sense. You don't want your name on something that has nothing to do with what you've done. I would want to paint a picture or crochet a shirt and then have someone say that, or not, sorry. I would not want, let's rephrase that, wow. English is hard sometimes. I would not want someone to say I crocheted a shirt on the other side of the world when I've never been anywhere near them and it was nothing like what I would have done. Make sense? Probably, maybe. Makes sense in my brain, so that works for me. Anyways, books are cool. Mysteries are even better. And thanks for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much talking about books, but I can't help myself sometimes. Books, movies, entertainment. I love to, enjoy the world. See you again real soon. Bye.